Hi, this is a demonstration or a showcase of my ability to be able to configure specific devices. And use it, the sort of intention of this showcase is to just demonstrate my skills so that it makes it easier for you to make a decision process in regards to recruitment. So I sort of apologise in advance. There might be a little bit of background noise. I actually live on a corner of quite a busy road, so there might be some truck noises or car noise in the background. Once again, I apologise for that in advance. Okay, so the objective of this showcase is to demonstrate my F5 configuration skills, demonstrate my Palo Alto configuration skills, Juniper switch configuration skills. Prior to being an infrastructure security engineer, I was a network engineer for many, many years. Demonstrate Cisco switch configuration skills, demonstrate Open LDAP configuration for IDAM, demonstrate Open SSL configuration for certificate management. There's certificates are installed on all devices. Demonstrate Cisco AP configuration. Demonstrate VMware ESX 5.5 host network configuration. I'm using obviously the VMware to simulate the web servers and the BIOS gateways, which we're talking about in a minute. Demonstrate BIOS software router configuration. Like I said, BIOSes are software router firewall appliances that are primarily used in cloud environments. Other items are not presented here. vCenter 6.5 configuration and network configuration, NetFlow configuration and FSIM. Here's the lab diagram. So basically I'll be having 4 customer branch offices out communicating over the internet to an internet service provider that's providing services, web server services for each individual customer so that they can present their wares or whatever to the internet. So obviously I can't simulate the internet, so I'm using a RFC 1918 10 network address to pretend to be the internet, which is 10.99.0.0/16. So my customers are connected via BIOS firewall router at the perimeter. So there'll be a public IP address 10.99.51.1 allocated to customer A's BIOS. So 51 is the identifying number for customer A. So the customer A branch network sitting inside behind the via firewall is 192.168.51.0/24 and connecting to the BIOS via a wireless access network. Customer B uses 52. Customer C uses 53. And customer D uses 54. Well, like I said, they all have a service via a service provider to provide them with a secure, also a web service that they present to the internet and for private access. They get to that customer ISP via public IP address 10.99.99.254. And their web servers sit behind an F5. So the service provider has a public IP address range 10.99.1.0/24, which is allocates to F5 VIPs for devices that are sitting behind F5. So it's a web server, customer A web server. It's sitting in a 172.16.51.0/24 network. Customer B, a web server, sitting in a 172.16.52.0/24 network. Customer C, a web server, sitting in 172.16.53.0/24. and customer D web server seated in the 172.16.54 network. The customer VIPs for customer A to get to customer A web services is 10.99.1.41, 10.99.1.51, 10.99.1.61. The reason for the 3 VIPs will be explained later, but there's 3 VIPs per customer. So customer B is 10.99.1.42, 52 and 62. Customer C is 10.99.1.43, 53 and 63. And customer D is 10.99.1.44, 54 and 64. So here's my lab, so the Palo Alto at the top, and below that is the ESX 5.5 server with the BIOS gateways and customer web servers. Below that there's a Cisco PIX firewall, which is pretty much a brick, I don't use it. Below the PIX is the Cisco 3750 switch. It's really quite an old switch. The only reason I use it these days is, and the reason why I'm using it primarily is because it has fiber connectivity, and the F5 only talks over fiber, so it's required just for that connectivity. The switches below that are the Juniper EX4200 switches. The bottom is the F5. Like I said before, it's only got fiber connectivity. The Ethernet cable that you see in there is for management only. Your Cisco WAP is configured in autonomous mode, so it's not connected to a wireless LAN controller. And I've got 2 servers, which are the VM 6.5 vSphere vCenter servers. So the F5. So the F5 is a Vitron 2400 hardware appliance. It's running LTM 12.1.2, which is pretty much 10 years old. There is no APM module, so I'm unable to demonstrate any process flow manipulation capability because there is none. That's hence the reason why I need all those VIPs. I wouldn't have needed it if I had APM. Granular access configuration, I have no ability to manipulate the LDAP directory tree or run LDAP directory specific queries. So IDAM is very limited. However, I am able to demonstrate VIP configurations, SSL offloading, and iRule configuration. So here are my virtual servers. So basically you can see there's 3 for each server, plus there's a redirect VIP, so that anybody that tries to go in via HTTP will automatically get redirected to HTTPS. Here are the servers in the network map. Here are the iRules. There's quite a few of them, because obviously there's quite a number of VIPs that I need to apply iRules to. And here are the web server certificates, there's one for every single VIP. Palo Alto, it's a model PA3050, Panos 6.2, it's old, very, very old. So I'm just showing the following features for this particular video. Firewall policy configuration, and IPsec termination to customer branches in transport mode, and IPsec termination to customer branches in tunnel mode. So here's the policy map. So basically, number of different types of policies here, specifically the customers. There is an OSPF allow and LDAP allow, so I can specifically get from the management network. The LDAP is for just to get from the management to the LDAP server that's sitting on the F5. The OSPF is just, I'm using OSPF as the dynamic routing protocol for the internet. So it would normally be BGP, but you know, for this purposes OSPF will do. So here are the IPsec tunnels. It's one tunnel for each of the customer branches. So it's IPsec tunnel running between the firewall and each of the customer gateways. The wireless setup is a Cisco ARNet access point. It's a LAP 1142 access point, fairly old again. Running in autonomous mode, so running a standalone configuration, and advertising 4 separate SSIDs, one for each of the customer branch networks. Basic configuration only for this demonstration. So here you've got the 4 SSIDs, cust A, cust B, cust C, cust D. MF Lab, MF is just my initials and my name. So pretty much fairly straightforward. And here are the advertisements when I go to, when I'm looking on my laptop, I can see all 4. So Juniper switches, model EX4200, I have 2 of them. Acting as a core backbone network and providing VLANs for the internet, the customer branch networks, the VIP network, the web server networks, the back end, the lab management network, and the internet VLAN is completely isolated within its own layer 3 domain by means of a virtual route forwarding instance. It uses a similar sort of thing to VRF Lite. Those of you who understand VRFs, you can actually have IP layer 3 separation, and you can have multiples within the same router or switch. So it allows you to have multiple different networks that can't see each other because they're in their own instance. So this is the VLANs that are attached to Juniper 1. So branch subnets at the top, the customer A networks for the gateways, and the customer B and C networks, and the VIP network, and the internet. Here is the routing table. Like I said before, this is in this routing table is in its own VRF. It's called customer internet.inet.0, and as you can see, you can only see the internet routes. So 55 is a local route. I just dropped the Junipers into a route so that it could actually, if it needed to, get to other IP addresses for troubleshooting purposes. So as you can see, there is no 192.168 networks there. There is no 172.16 networks. It can only see the internet. Juniper 2 configuration, fairly similar, and again, Juniper 2 can only see the internet. So the customer BIOS gateway configurations. So here the routing table. Apart from its own directly connected network, you've got 192.168.1.0. That's just the management network that allows me to get to these devices without having to hop across to other devices. The actual address that they use when you pick up an IP address from the customer, this is customer A, from the customer A wireless access point will be a 192.168.51 network address. So apart from the 192.168.51 network address and the management address, the only other networks that can be seen are internet addresses, 10.99 addresses. As you can see, the tunnel, so tunnel is up, so both of those, both the tunnel and the routing is up on this. So here's customer web server configuration. So basically, each web server is pretty much the same. Like I said to you before, they sit in a back-end network, or once behind the F5, and it's a 172.16. And because we're on customer A, it's 51, and the server itself is on .10. You can see that it's running XAMPP, which is just basically Apache with SQL database, and it's all running, and everything's running okay. One thing to note on each of these web servers, they're all exactly the same. They have the SSL module turned off, so they are only listening on port 80. They are not listening on port 443, so you cannot create a HTTP connection to them. That HTTPS offloading is done by the F5 for all the servers, so they're all exactly the same. Cisco switch, it's a legacy switch that's been around ever since the lab was built. It's old, 48 port, 100 meg ports. It's a 7550, not a 3750, not a 37500. It's running version 12.2. It's only required because the F5 has fiber connectivity only, and this switch is the only one that has fiber SFPs installed. So the only function of this switch is to connect the F5 to the Junipers. So the F5s, because they don't have fiber, have to go through the Cisco to get to the F5. And it provides management access to the lab. So here's the ESX server. You can see it's got the customer branch gateways, which are the VIOSes. It's got each of the customer web servers there, plus it's hosting the LDAP server. The ESX 6.5, the only thing I'm using this particular VM server for is for the certificate management only. I'm not using any of the other features on this one. So talking about certificates, this is the certificate on the F5. So basically this is the F5 management interface. So you can see it's called F5 service provider. So I just called the domain serviceprovider.com, and it's been signed by the MF Lab signing CA, which in turn has been signed by the MF Lab root CA. The LDAP access, basically in LDAP there are 4 basic groups, 4 OUs, customer A, customer B, customer C, customer D, with 4 groups per AU, as it's basic users, engineering users, helpless users and web admin, all exactly the same. So use case 1. Use cases. So customer A web server, and that's public versus branch office user access. Customer B web server, same thing. Customer C web server, same thing. And customer D web server, same thing. And the cases are similar, they have slight differences, that's why I've got to show them separately. There is an exception due to a recent security incident. Customer A has made the decision to block customer D from accessing any of its services. So use case 1. So access to customer A's public web page is available to everyone except customer D branch office users. Access to customer A's company web page is only available to customer A branch employees. Access to customer A's private company portal is only available to all customer A branch employees after they've entered the appropriate credentials. Oops, sorry. And customer A branch office user can access the access to customer A's this mouse is very sensitive. So access to customer A's company administration portal is only available to specific customer A branch employees only after they've entered the appropriate credentials. Really, it's only engineering users that can access the administration portal. And the customer A branch office users can access back-end network via IPsec tunnel and is able to use ping, SSH and browsers to communicate with the back-end servers. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring up an IP config. And at the moment, I'm on the management network, which is 192.168.1.100. I'm on here just to quickly show you the F5. So here's the F5 login. Now, as you can see, the F5 is protected by MF Lab. And so if I bring over the security tab and I view the certificate, you can see that it's got a certificate on it which has been signed by the MF Lab, which in turn has been signed by the root CA. So everything's hunky-dory. So let me just maximize that a little bit. I'm going to keep closing this because I've got it set to clear the cache every time I close the window, so I don't want credentials to be sort of leaking across because of different users. So each time you'll see I'll close this window. So just taking a look at the virtual server. So here on my virtual servers, there's 4 pages of it. I won't go through it. So basically I've got 3 web server instances associated per web server. So if I go and have a look at the network map, and it has to be done this way because I do not have APM. So if I just look up the ones that are just available, so as you can see, these are the ones. So if I take a look at the IRLs, so a whole bunch of IRLs for each of the servers. So I've got a different IRL for web admin access, and a different one for just the web access, and one for public access. If I go down to look at system and file management, and here's my certificates. So basically I've got my certificates for each of the web servers, and that's that. I jump on to the Palo. This one is so old that even though it's got a certificate on it, the encryption on here is very weak because it's such an old firewall. So if I just go and have a look at monitoring, so you can see I've been on it recently and sort of gone through the networks. You can see I've got web pages going through through the tunnels. This is through the IPsec. I've got stuff going through the VIPs, so basically the web browsing and SSL, and blah blah blah. So here's my policies. So I've got a whole bunch of ones, and basically got one for OSPF. OSPF is because I'm using that for the internet routing protocol to be BGP normally, but for this purposes I'm just using OSPF. Okay, so I will drop off that, and so I've got a use case 1. So the first part of use case 1 is that I need to connect to the customer A network. So I'll jump on the customer A network, connect. If I do a IP config, you can see now I've picked up the 192.168.51 network. So use case 1 is access to public web spaces available to everyone. So obviously I'm a branch office A user, so it will be available to me. So let's go to the public portal. Yep, absolutely. Customer A's company web page is only available to customer A branch employees. I am a customer A branch employee, so I should be able to get to it. I don't need to put credentials in. It's just I've just got to make sure that I'm a customer A user. Okay, so third one is access to customer A's private company portal is only available to customer A branch employees. So I have to put in a user here. So let me try and put in a user that's not a customer A. So I'll go to customer C, user 1. Copy. Paste. And user 1 is user 1 pass C. Copy. Paste. See, I can't get in. So let me go in as an actual customer A user. So let's just pick user 4, which is a basic user. And that access is user 4 pass. There you go. I am now on the customer A private access portal. So, okay, now the fourth part of the user case 1 is access to A's company administration portal is only available to specific customer A branch employees. In fact, it's got to be an engineering user. So, okay, so I'm a user here, so I'll stay as customer, I'll stay as user 4. User 4 is just a basic user. And the password will be user 4 pass A. And as you can see, I can't do it. I've got to be an engineering user. Well, let me try and be an engineering user from another customer. Copy. Paste. So this is a customer B instance with customer B credentials, but he is an engineering customer. engineering user. As you can see, it won't be able to get in. Okay, so let's just use user 3, an engineering user from customer and password. See, now I have access to the admin page. Right, now what I'm going to do is, remember, go back to use case 1, access to customer A's public web page is available to anyone, but no other links are available. The only other links are available, if I go to customer A public access page, all these other pages, the company links, the private links, the portal links, are only available to customer A users. So while I'm on customer A, I'm going to jump onto customer B. Now, I am a public portal user, so I'll be able to get to it, but I am not a customer B employee. So I shouldn't be able to get here, and I can't. I shouldn't be able to get here, and I can't. And I shouldn't be able to get here, or I can't, which is cool. So it's working. So the last part of the use case is customer A branch office users can access the back-end network via the IPsec tunnel and is able to use ping, SSH and browsers. Okay, so the back-end, the server IP for customer A, don't forget I am still customer A, is 172.16.51.10. So in order to satisfy use case 1, I should be able to ping this guy. And I can. Just out of curiosity, I'll try and ping one of the other servers. And of course I shouldn't be able to. No. Okay, so the second part of this use case is I can use SSH to get to the back-end server. So, in the back-end server, I have it already here. Backdoor, load, you see 51.10. And there you go, I can reach it. I'm not going to log in. There you go, I can get in. And also, I should be able to get to it via browser. Don't forget, I will not be able to get to it via HTTPS because that is not running. 172.16. Well, it might, no, because I'm coming through the backdoor, it's not coming through the F5 at all. So 51.10. So I won't be able to get to it because it's not even listening on that. So I will go to it via HTTP. And there you go, I am on it. Okay, so that is use case 1. I'm going to close the browser because I want to clear all the cookies and all the other stuff, all the other funky stuff. So now I'll go to use case 2. So I want to go to use case 2. Oops, sorry, I have to go through that quick. Use case 2. So same thing, access to customer B's public page is available to anyone, which it is. Access to customer B's company page is only available to customer B branch employees. Well, I tried to log on as customer A and I couldn't, so but I need to now connect to customer B to check that. Access to customer B's private, well, same thing again, so branch employees that have entered the correct credentials. Company portal is only available to specific branch employees, i.e. engineering users, which is user 3. And this time, customer B branch office users can access the back end, but only using ping and SSH. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to log on as a customer B user. So I'll just do a ipconfig. I've now got 52 address, so I am now officially a B user. So I am now going to load up web server again. So customer website. So I've already tried a customer A. Of course I can get to it, but I can't get to the company portal. I can't get to private portal, and I can't get to admin portal. So it'll be the same when I try to go to C. Public, okay. Company, no. Admin, no. So if I go to customer D, public, yes. Company, no. Private, no. Admin, no. So now I go back to customer B. So B, public portal, of course. And company portal, I can get to. Private portal, obviously you need to put a username in. I'll just go to put in, this time I'll just go in as user 4 in customer B. And user 4's password is user 4 pass. And I'm in. Now I'll try to use the same thing again, so I'm still on user 4. User 4. Can't. So try user 3, just try this user 3. Just to show you. No. So user 3 of, I am on B and I, yep, so user 3. Copy. User 3. Paste. Okay, so there, not now. So I'll close that. So that's all working nicely. So the last part of this is be able to use ping. So ping. So customer B is 21. Yep, I can ping. Can I SSH? Web. So it's 21. Yes, I can. But can I should not be able to browse. No, I can't. All right. Okay, cool. So, use case 3. Okay, use case 3. Access to customer C is available to everyone. Same again, same again, same again. Difference is here that they can use ping, SSH and browsers to communicate to the back-end servers. So, I will jump on to customer C. IP config. I am got a 53 address, so I am now officially on customer C. So I got a customer A. Bang, yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yep. Customer B. Yes. No. 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 Customer C. Yes. Yes. Yes, if I put in the right credentials. I'm just going to put in the right credentials. So just pick user 4. Oh, you pick user 1. Copy. Paste. Copy. paste. Oh, hang on. Here's the one. Oh, maybe I didn't do it correctly. Oh, when you go, sorry, wrong one. The one's supposed to be a C, so this is the one. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. There you go. And last one, and load by name is least, is user 3. Copy. There you go, so that's that one. So it's able to ping SSH and use the thing. So okay, so if I go to, this is 53, 41, copy. So ping, yep, SSH. This drops in the other window, unfortunately. There you go. And I can go to the web browser. It says HTTP. There you go. Alright, so that's that one. So, last by no means least is use case 4. And this is customer D. Sorry about that, it's a bit buggered up, but basically it's the same as customer. The only difference is here is that customer D branch employees cannot access customer A at all. The same things with all the other ones, and when it comes to communicate with the back end, it can use ping and SSH only. Okay, so I will log on to customer D, connect. Oops, so config. It now picks up a customer D address. So I'll just customer website, customer A, can't get there at all. Try again. No, not allowed. So customer B, yep. And paste, company portal, no. 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 It's customer B, customer C, will be the same. Yes. No. 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 And if I try to go to the customer D web page, it won't be able to get there because it's not allowed. Can't get there. Gonna die. Okay, so the only other thing is it will be able to ping. Yes. And it will be able to SSH. There you go. Okay. So, yeah, so there's sort of a mixture of the F5 and the Palo that are defining the policies to satisfy these use cases. So that's the end of the presentation. I hope that's been useful and hope you'll be able to make an informed choice based on what you've seen. Thank you very much.